So hey everyone, so I wanted to, because so many people have been asking me about my trip to LA, kind of just do a video, just tell you guys about my first adventure in showing a buyer in Beverly Hills. So how this all kind of came about, I was minding my business, doing my work, and on Wednesday I got a request for a showing. And I said, okay, well, sure, I'll say yes to it. I didn't realize it was a Beverly Hills showing. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm in Kansas. I don't know how this is going to happen on a Sunday, but let me figure it out. So I called my office, Nest Seekers, which is the company I joined in Beverly Hills, and I talked to one of the agents that I met on my last trip. And, just asked him, like, what would make you travel, let's say if I'm in Kansas, to California to show a house? And he gave me what his number was. And I said, okay, well, let me talk to the client a little bit more, qualify them, figure out their time schedule, why they have to do it this weekend, and I'll get back with you. So in communicating with my client, who was currently out of the country, he doesn't get back till November, I found out a lot about him. He is moving back here. He owns a couple properties in the United States and is looking to move to LA to be close to his girlfriend. So I said, okay, well, who am I showing if you're overseas? And turns out I was showing his girlfriend because she's going to be the decision maker on the property. And if she liked it, then the attorneys would handle moving forward with the offer. So I felt like I needed to go. Like it was one of those moments where it's like, this is a big risk because this could turn into nothing. And here I'm last minute buying a ticket. So even though it's Southwest, which is fairly usually inexpensive, it's like a $900 flight. I have to get up early on Sunday, come back on Monday because I have family obligations. It was gonna be a quick 24 hours after just being in Wichita for a couple of days for a conference. But I put all that aside, talked to John, who I always talk to on anything, about everything obviously, and we both felt like it was important to go. If nothing else, just to do it, to get the exposure, to show properties, and whatever we learn from the experience. So I talked to the client a little bit more, talked to their girlfriend via text, and then her and I got on the phone and talked for a bit more. And I learned a lot about my client and what his needs were and where we were at in the process, and he needed to be in a property by the end of the year. So I get to looking. The property he had called me back about was the one I posted. It was a $26 million home in Beverly Hills. Beautiful view of the ocean, the city. I mean, it was a gorgeous property, and I know you guys have probably seen some of the pictures. But I also wanted to find a couple other ones to show him. So I get everything squared away, start scheduling appointments. Now that her and I have locked down a time to meet and a location to meet. Well, guess what? No one in Beverly Hills knows me. So getting these appointments scheduled was way more complicated than I ever could have imagined. Multiple agents refused to set me up with showings. Their multiple listing service is similar to ours, but you can just schedule it on the website, which shows that you're a licensed agent, because how else could you do that? They weren't into it. They weren't interested. So luckily, I had the house that he really wanted to see, I was able to get us into, as well as a couple more that were on his maybe list. And the main reason was I only had the information from the attorney to show proof of funds, and they wanted a little bit more information than that, which is completely their right to have that. I just am not as familiar with the norm of business in Beverly Hills and LA, so it was a huge learning experience. All right, so fast forward, Saturday night, I leave Sunday morning, Hallie gets sick. She literally has a fever of 101. I'm trying to get her fever down, get her medicine, because who wants to leave a sick kid? I mean, that's the worst feeling in the world. So Sunday morning, she was feeling better. My flight was at 8:30, so she got hydrated, was sleeping, and Brittany was able to come over and spend some time with her. They ended up staying with her dad that night, but it's on my mind the whole time that Hallie hasn't felt good, and I'm going to be so far away, and it's scary. So in addition to taking the risk financially to travel across the country to show this property, I'm also leaving my sick baby, which is, I don't know, you guys know me, like my kids are my life. Like, it's such a big part of who I am and why I do everything I do. But I made the choice to go. Talking to her, thank God, FaceTime, found out on Southwest, little tidbits, you can download text messaging if you have an iPhone. So I was able to text them the entire flight and stay in touch with how everyone was doing. So I get there. Since I haven't been at Nest Seekers very long, I didn't have a key. I had to go get a key from the office assistant. I had to go to her house on a Sunday morning to get the key. She gives me the key, but doesn't give me the alarm code. She said she's going to text it to me. I get in the car, I drive 20 minutes to the office. I text her before I pull in the parking garage. I'm like, hey, I'm here, can you send me the code? I text again. I call. I stand outside of the building on Cannon Street for 20 minutes calling and texting, trying to get the code. And finally, I was like, my client's going to be here in 30 minutes. I have to change because I'm in my airplane clothes. I put some makeup on, so I just said, fuck it, I'm going inside. So I went inside, emailed the broker. She sent the code. Silent alarm got canceled. Anyways, I got in. But that's how my hectic Sunday started, was sick baby, traveling, navigating Los Angeles, and trying to get a key and setting off an alarm. So that was a good start to your day. Fast forward, I meet my client. We have a great connection. She's wonderful. We had a beautiful lunch on the rooftop of the Montage in Beverly Hills. We were able to really navigate what her partner is looking for in a property and really get an idea of how we can have this working relationship with him being overseas, his attorneys being in Florida, and her being kind of the go-between in this first edition of the property. So, long story short, I know it's kind of a long story, but I wanted to tell you guys, like, it's not all roses. Even though I posted pictures of these beautiful homes I was able to see, there was a lot that went into that. There was a lot of work that went into me being comfortable enough to pursue my California license, to feel like I was worthy enough to work in real estate in the highest price zip code in the country, 90210. It did not just wake up I did not just wake up one morning and say, this is what I'm gonna do. It took intentional planning, communication with the people who love me to make sure they were okay. Like telling my kids, hey, I may have to go out of town to show houses. How do you feel about that? And an investment of money. I mean, it's not free. Nothing's free. I had to get licenses. I had to get marketing material. I have to, get continuing education. There's costs associated with that. Not to mention $900 for one flight to go show a house. So everything can always seem like it's, all warm and fuzzy and perfect, but there's work, and I'm committed to doing the work because, like I said in my other videos, I truly believe my purpose is to do these things. So at the end of everything, this is a long story, at the end of everything, where we're at now, because everyone's asking me, is I have compiled a offer for my client. I've put all the terms in that he and I have discussed. Everything's now been sent to his attorney for their review. He does have a property in San Diego that has to be sold, but he already has a buyer, so we're getting all of that put together. And, when you're dealing with these kind of price ranges, it's not like a 10-day close. It's going to take time. And my hope is that we'll just continue moving along the process. And I'm learning so much as we go. And I will keep you guys updated on my future showings in Beverly Hills and Los Angeles, as well as what happens with the $26 million showing I just got to do a 24-hour trip to LA for. So, yeah, I hope you guys like it. Oh, also, if you didn't know, I created a new website called crystalsavesthedeal.com. And on that site, you can search homes for sale in Kansas and Lawrence and Kansas City. You can also search homes for sale in California. So if you want to just browse around and look and see what's going on in Bel Air, Beverly Hills, and then also what's going on in our local market, you can check both of those out. So thanks for staying tuned for this video. It is a little bit longer than I hoped it would be, but I hope it kind of gives you some insight of why I went to California, what I'm doing out there, and hey, it's not all roses. It's a lot of work, but if it inspires someone else to go after what they really are passionate about, it's worth telling the story. Thanks.